Welcome to Nasdaq Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, global markets reporter at Nasdaq. Joining me is Chris Ianelli, CEO of Ice Specimen, and we're going to discuss the biospecimen procurement market. Chris, it's great to meet with you. Welcome to Trade Talks.
Oh, thank you. Nice to meet with you.
And Chris, let's start with the very basics. What is biospecimen procurement?
So biospecimen procurement is the business of gaining access to different research subjects, very often patients across the healthcare system, to gain access to samples from those patients and data sets. So samples meaning tubes of blood, plasma, serum, and sometimes even pieces of tissue that can be collected through surgery or biopsy.
How big is this market?
It's a large market. Worldwide, there is somewhere between $3 and $4 billion spent by mostly commercial researchers, meaning biotechnology companies, pharmaceutical companies, and diagnostic companies. Gaining access to patients is something they need to do to not only discover the products or get the ideas that they have for product development, but to develop those ideas into the products that can serve us, the patient population.
And Chris, tell us about iSpecimen. Where do you fit within the ecosystem, and what solutions are you providing?
So we are one of what turns out to be many different small companies that serve this industry. We compete with other biospecimen procurement companies. Many of them are boutique companies or mom and pop companies that collect samples from patients in their area to get them to companies globally. We are different from everybody else in that we are the only technology-enabled platform company in the space. And by that, I mean we are a two-sided marketplace. We set ourselves up just over 10 years ago to be the first, and as far as we know, the only marketplace platform in the space, meaning we're trying to make this as easy for life science researchers to find patients, samples, and data sets as it is for anyone to use Amazon to find merchandise.
And Chris, when we think about sharing blood samples and tissue specimens and so forth, is this compliant with data privacy and HIPAA and all the good stuff to protect healthcare consumers?
That's right. So that is one of the regulations that we help both sides of our platform comply with. So HIPAA, and that's probably one of the more important ones. So what we do is we have built a network of healthcare providers. It's made up predominantly of hospital systems, but it includes physician practice groups. It includes commercial laboratories, blood banks, really anybody across the healthcare provider landscape that has access to patients, an ability to get samples from those patients and data sets. And one of the first things that we discuss with hospitals and other healthcare providers is how to tap into those data sets in a manner that's compliant with HIPAA, meaning iSpecimen does not want access to protected health information that's protected by HIPAA. We leave all of that behind the firewall of the healthcare provider and only take through the firewall non-identifiable data sets such as diagnoses, lab results, and other information to allow us to match up patients that may want to make their samples available to researchers' criteria for those samples.
And finally, what's next for iSpecimen? What can investors expect?
So having gone public recently, we are now deploying our capital for growth initiatives. What you can expect to see is that our platform, while good at finding samples now, is going to get better. We're investing in technology to make this platform more resemble a B2C play than a B2B play. So to build in features that make it easier for life science researchers to find the exact patient or research subject that they're looking for and the samples and data sets that they're looking for. And on the healthcare provider side, to make it easier for healthcare providers to connect to the platform and simply pick, pack, and ship what they may happen to have in their laboratories or in their practices through iSpecimen to get it into the hands of researchers to do a better job of developing therapeutics and diagnostics.
All right, Chris, we appreciate the insight. Thanks for joining us on Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, global markets reporter at Nasdaq.
Great. Thank you.
All right.